Well, welcome back on the 300Zx. It's getting a bit dark because it has been raining all day. This is the second attempt because I did come out, get everything ready, and then it rained. Yeah, so it's been a little while. I know it's not politically correct to say it, but I've had a cold. But anyway, that's on its way out, so let's crack on. So, new thermostat, look, all nice and shiny inside there. Nice and spinny too. And what we got some little studs to go in there, which come in this packet here. The shorter end goes into that, like so. So all four of those in. We've found our 6 bolts, including the weird looking one. And in here, got some RTV. So, yep, RTV, instant gasket, whatever you want to call it. We're going to put it around these lines, and then we're just going to join them up as well. So yeah, we've gone all the way around the little loop bits as well. So yeah, I just went around and smoothed it on a little bit. So what we're going to do is try and line this up with like 1 or 2 bolts, and then go from there. Maybe try not to lose the bolts inside the car. Let's try that one. This is easier said than done. There's one lining up. That one in a little bit. I'm going to put that one in a little bit. This is. So. It's all in hand tight. So now we're going to go round and we're going to give them a little tighten individually. And we're going to do them sort of opposite each other. The bloody awkward one under the time belt. Yeah, that's helpful. Ouch. Well, there you go. All torqued to spec. Whatever spec, don't know. But as tight as they're going. So, before it gets too dark, which then we'll reconvene in the morning, which will be straight away for you. I've got new ones of these now from Z1 in America. So they've got a 10mm there, and there. So I'm going to take those off, ready to put new ones on in the morning. I'm going to start with this one because this one's right, trapped behind here. Oh, did take much to take it out though. It's just going to be a case of getting it past that. Yep, that's that. Not done up very tight, these. And this one here is a bit awkward as well because it's right underneath there. Also, it's very loose. Yep, and that's it. Theoretically, they're just hold on with a bit of that. Yep, that is why we're replacing that. This one, hopefully, we can get down here a bit. So it should just pop off with a bit of help. Yep. So yeah, that one's also knackered. So next job is to put back on the water bypass flanges. Got some, well, you've seen the last ones are knackered. So I've got some brand new ones in from Z1, all packaged up. Gonna get these out, put some RTV round here, bolt them in either side. So a good amount of RTV on there, can't see it because it's clear. Clever that. Now we're gonna try this one first. Try and get the little bolt to line up slightly. These are 10mm. Now the fun bit's going to be this bolt this side. Yep, that's sort of it. Oh, good, that is tight because I thought that was just turning around. So I'm just going to put them on hand tight for a minute. It's worth knowing that this is very awkward to see what you're doing. This side's slightly easier than the other side though. We slop loads of RTV on, so hopefully there's enough for it to slide about a little bit. Yep, so that's on. I don't really know what a torque spec is for this. So I'm just going to do it up so that it feels tight, but not too tight. Bear in mind these are little bolts. That worked. Yeah. I think that's tied off. So next up we have these brand new silicone hoses for here, because you saw what happened to the rubber ones from a Z1. To put these on, I'm going to have the Z1 facing upwards because that's going to look cool. They're a bit hard to get on. See, it's just going to try and open it up and push it at the same time. Yeah. That's what she said. So yeah, that's flush, that's flush. I don't think they're coming off anytime soon. So next up we got these clip things here, which you have to squeeze and move. And there's probably a proper tool for it, but I don't have it. Yeah, and this is going to be interesting. Yeah, these pliers seem to be slightly better for that job. So we're going to put that, so it's over the flange somewhere like there. So I've done this side as well. I put the release of it down the bottom here because I remember when it was behind there, when I took it off, it was a pain in the backside. That one's got slightly more room around there, so that one's round there. So what we're going to do now is put just this timing cover on, because there's a bolt down the bottom here which you can't get in or out when the water hose is on. Take the water hose off and you're going to have to re-RTV it and drain all the coolant, which I don't want to be doing that. So we're going to put this on and then the rest can go on afterwards. It was very oily in here. I've cleaned it out sort of, because I probably don't have the correct product to do that. As you see, it's been glued in the past as well, so I'll probably replace this at some point. It's a bit mucky there, can't really get that off because I don't have the right degreaser, so I'll just try some basic degreasing. It don't seem to be doing a lot, but I want to get this car back on the road, so I can't be faffing about with that. I think the oil leak, there was only a small bit of oil there. I think the oil leak is the seal, which is behind this plate here, which means it's a whole timing belt. So, but it don't leak a lot. This is quite a lot of build up, so for now I'm gonna just live with it, I think it's the word. Just gonna line it up with the one bolt if we can. That'll give us a guide. Don't even know if that's going. Yeah, it's going in. No, it's not. That's in. Yeah. So there you go, that timing belt covers on. Bolt there, bolt there. There's supposedly one around there, don't have it. Bolt there, bolt there. That bolt don't seem to want to go in, but I don't think it was in the first place. And that bolt was really awkward to get threaded, but it's in now. This is the bolt that you can't get out if you've got your coolant hoses on. Probably don't need it, but because this has been glued here at some point in the past, I decided I'm going to put it in. And if I do want to take this off, I'm just going to have to go through this whole process again. So next to go back on is this upper coolant hose. It basically goes into these two here, and behind here, yeah, if you can get under here, you've got 1, 2, 3 little bolts which take these really awkward Allen key bolts. I've only got 2 of these because there's only 2 in. I've got to get another one of these, so we're going to put it on and then we're going to put the other one on later when we've got one, because it turns out these are quite specialist. Put a bit of RTV, well, we'll put the RTV on here, on the end of that, and then we'll get that on. So worth noting that I have pre-installed loosely these clips here, because you ain't going to get them on once you got that on. So yeah, all RTV around there. The plan is to push it in and see what happens. So hopefully these hoses here should help it line up anyway. It says. Yeah, that's easy. Not. Yeah, so this is easier said than done. That one's in, sort of. That one's in, sort of. So I'll just work it in. But it's touching up there, and it's totally not lining up. Try and get it lined up using the bolt, because yeah, that's found the thread. So we're going in there somewhere. Hopefully that's going to thread into something. Not sure if that is or not. Yep, that's biting. So as you'll see, there's up there, we probably can't see, well I can't see either. There's another one on the bottom there. I don't have that one yet. So we're going to do these two up and then find one for that. So we're going to do them up to whatever torque spec they're going to be up to, which I don't really know what that is. It's going to be until it doesn't go anymore. I'm just going to do a bit on this. Yeah, marvellous. Do a bit on each side so it evenly pushes itself on. That one's torqued. It's also not coming out. Yeah, that's out. Back in here now. Yeah. It'll go in there somewhere. That's it. In. And that one's torqued. Let's give this one another go just to check. Yeah, that's as tight as that's going. Right, we still need to put one in the bottom. But now we're just going to do these clips and bash the camera with the ratchet, like so. There you go, torque to spec. Now we've got another one, just there. Just, yep, there. Going to do that one off camera. So I was going to put this low coolant hose on here, somewhere around there. Can't see what I'm doing yet, right on there. But if I was to put that on there, like so, I can't get to that bolt on the bottom of this one. So I can't do this bolt later. So what I've done, I'll get rid of that in a minute. I found a bolt, but it was a bit long, so I cut it down with the angle grinder, and we're going to stick that in the hole under here, like so. I'm going to find it because it fucking awkward. Yeah, there should be an Allen key, but the only reason it should be an Allen key, really, is because it's awkward to get in here, and if you drop it, it ends up down in the bottom part of the timing belt, which is why I've left the bottom timing belt cover off until I've done all these bolts here in case I lose any. So yeah, that's there. So just torque that up, like so. Which now means that that is fixed on with the RTV and 3 bolts instead of the 2 that it had before. So this here RTV is going to go around all the surface here, and then as you can see it's got 3 bolts. Down here you've got a stud and a stud, so you line it up, and then there's a bolt that goes in the bottom. However, first, brand new OEM thermostat from Nissan. That just kind of goes with that little notch thing there, goes to the top sort of right corner. Well, that's where the last one went anyway, so you just pop that in there and get it to kind of just balance freely until you've got the pipe on. So yep, that's gonna sit right there. So load of RTV around there, and we're going to try and line it up with the studs when we can't see what we're doing. So there's one around there, and we're also going to try and knock the thermostat out fucking all at the same time. So, yeah, always good fun. So it's kind of more of an angle like that. On there, seems to have gone flush. So what we've got on the studs, we've got a nut on each stud, if we can get to the blooming things. Yeah, there's a nut going on that stud there. I'm going to do that all by hand, because what I've done is I've put this bloody Jubilee clip in the way of it, which might need to rotate that round, I'm not sure yet. We might get away with, yeah, just about get away with that. Up by hand for a minute. So in here, hopefully, somewhere around there, there's another stud. And this is going to be total guesswork. Yep, about there. So they've actually put a groove out for this. It's still blooming guesswork. And then what happens is you drop your blooming nut down the bottom somewhere, and then you've got to find it. So, take 2. You've got to get the nut and find the stud by feeling it, and get it to start threading on. Once you've got it start threading on, it's not so bad. So find the blooming thing in the first place. So a rough idea where it is. And then I'll say a rough idea. Very rough idea. So it's actually quite low down there. I think that might be it. That's that. Then down the bottom, we find it. It's a bolt. That was easier. So now we've done those all up by hand, we're going to torque them to spec, which is basically as tight as they go. So now the fun one, which is, yeah, right in there. Pull that torque to spec. And somewhere under there, probably there. Maybe not there. But there's another one. Yeah. Try not to knock the camera off. So yep, that. Torque to spec. So next I'm going to put this bit of timing belt cover back on, because all the business around here seems to be out of the way. I did reconnect that so that I didn't get it corroded or lose it or anything, so I'm just going to have to disconnect briefly. Move out of the way. So there's all this lot what's kind of just hanging around here. Down there somewhere. So yeah, we'll just briefly line that up and put one in to hold it in place. So yeah, that's back on. One there, one there, one there. There's supposed to be one there, but I don't have that one for whatever reason, but it ain't going anywhere. Plug the cam angle sensor back in as well. So next we've got the lower timing belt cover, which goes somewhere around here. In fact, it goes somewhere around there. Yep, somewhere around there somewhere, he says. Yep. Yeah, I'm just going to work this one out and then come back to you. Well, it's on. You have to kind of go right up there and then twist it round over there and then bend that bit up to get a little tab past that bracket there. But it's on, but there's a gap between the plate there and that bolt there, but obviously it can't go any further there because that's hitting on the water pump. And the same here, the frame here is hitting on the water pump there, but there's still a gap there. But then obviously it's quite close to that pulley, so I don't think it needs to go any further back. That's a bit of a weird design. So what I've got here, well, what I did have there is two of these weird type bolts and two normal bolts. Now I believe these weird type bolts, well, one's gone in under there, there's another one goes in under there, and if I lose it I have to take this off again to get it, which is really annoying. And then I think these ones here, I think they go in there. One in is this side, and there's one there as well. So yeah, bolts in here, there's a little gap there. There's probably supposed to be some kind of washer fee, but obviously it didn't come with it. But yeah, that's firm. Don't over tighten it because it'll pull it too close. Check that there's a gap there for the pulley. Same with that one. And right under there there's a bloody awkward one, and right under there's a really awkward one, which you have to do that and push it down the bracket for the alternator so that you can get in there. So next to go back in this big heavy fat lump of pulleyness. As you can see, there's a little groove here which is going to line up with that, hopefully. This is really fucking heavy. I'm just going to try and persuade it on. Right, that's lined up. It's going to take some doing to get it in. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the bolt to do it. So big fat bolt, big fat socket. So I don't have a ratchet to fit this, but I do have a breaker bar, so this is going to take some time, I think. We'll put the car in gear, because that will stop the engine from turning, hopefully. And this will pull this on a lot easier than it came off. It seems to be doing the job. Now it's time to torque it up without a torque thingy. So we're just going to do it really tight, basically. Yeah. Well, it's tight, so we'll just take the car out of gear. I'm just going to turn the engine around a few times just to check. It all turns. There we go. So that'll probably be easier if I haven't got all the plugs in because you've got compression. So next to go on is this pulley for the water pump. It goes on with the recess towards the water pump so that it lines up with the alternator and also this pulley here. And you have to kind of put it in at an angle to get it past that one. So that goes there, so see that is lining up with the one underneath and it's lining up with that. And on top of that goes this for the viscous fan, and then we have 4 10mm nuts, which are going to be really awkward to do up because that's just going to spin because the water pump just spins freely. So we could put them on by hand for now and work out how we're going to tighten them up. So these are 10mm, so 10mm spanner because you ain't getting nothing else in there, and we're basically just going to have to try and hold that and tighten them. It's really awkward. So there we're on. Not going to put the fan on just yet because it's going to be in the blooming way. So next it's going to be the belt. So there is a bolt behind the alternator, not in front of the alternator, that you need to take out to adjust it. And you need to jack the car to do that, and you need to be able to drive the car onto a paving slab in order to get the jack under it, and the car doesn't fucking move. So back on it with getting the alternator belt on. I've took the wheel off for no keen reason whatsoever because the access under there is even worse unless the car's right up in the air. However, I have retrieved the 2 sockets that I lost inside the underside of the car, so that's a bonus. I've spent ages right down here at the back of there, because I've got this little thing on the front here. On the back of there, there's a nut. Now, why not put the nut on the front where you get to it? But no, it's on the back. I've spent ages trying to get this, according to the internet, because you can't see it, 12mm nut off. And failed and lost some sockets in there and got mad. Took the wheel off. And anyway, eventually I found out it's a 14mm. And I managed to get a spanner in from under here, try and fiddle about, and I've loosened that off now. So what we've got to do now is adjust this, which is apparently 12mm, we're going to find out, which will then move this backwards and forwards, so we can move this in, which will move this in, so we've got the belt on then we can move that back out, then tighten that bolt around the back again, which is going to be really fun, and then that belt will be on. So I've got me 12mm, and this 12mm bolt is not 12mm. So yeah, that bolt turned out to be 13, not 12. Apparently it's 12 though. I also had to, got a belt on sort of, it didn't come in enough, so I had to also undo this from here to get that little extra bit. So hopefully I can get this lined up, get the bolt back in here, and then adjust the tension there. We'll see. So I had to wind that pretty much all the way out in order to get that back in. So yeah, wind this in, so turn it this way, and it basically pulls the alternator back against the bracket there. This apparently should be about 1/4 inch deflection in the middle, so that's probably about right. So what I've got to do is now get that stupid 14mm bolt, tighten that up round the back, and then there's a pivot bolt somewhere in there, can't remember where it was, can't remember what size that is, tighten that up as well. And then hopefully that's that belt done. So I tightened that 14mm bolt around the back of there, that was fun. What we've got down here is somewhere, big fucked off pivot bolt here. I'm going to have a guess at 17 because that's a good size for a big fucked off bolt, and yep, it is. So we are going to tighten that up. Which turns out was fairly loose. Yep, so that's that tightened. So what I'm going to do now is, because you shouldn't really start a water, well, edge of a water pump with no water in the car, because it's, well, apparently you're not supposed to. So just to check everything moves properly, I'm just going to turn the engine over by hand. Like so. And everything seems to be turning, so that's all good. So next going to put the power steering bolt on. It just goes around this pulley here, like so, and round the pulley there, but there's not enough slack to get it on there with that bolt loosened, the pivot bolt loosened, and that basically fully wound out. So I'm going to take these 2 out as well, which will hopefully give me a bit more room to get it on there. I can tension it up with a tensioner, fingers crossed, because it was right pain in the backside to get it off. So you'll see it's on, but even when we're taking these 2 bolts out, which we've got to put back in, there isn't enough to get it over there. So what you have to do is put it on that one, I put it almost on that one, and then put your big 27mm, whatever it is, in the front there, push down on that and pull that over and walk it onto the wheel. Right, somewhere down there is the will to live, but other than trying to find where I put that, there is a 13mm on here, which you have to keep finding. And you have to tighten this up, which is basically going to tension the bolt up, the belt for the power steering. And it's going to take a very, very annoyingly fucking long time. So when you've finished losing the will to live and you've done up that really long annoying bolt, 2 more bolts to do up. 2 more bolts to do up. Firstly, this one here, which is the kind of lock bolt, whatever you want to call it, which is whatever size socket I've got on there, can't remember. So yeah, we do that up tight. Then the next bolt to do up is the pivot bolt there, which is through there, except that's not lined up. So what you need to do is you need to get your big long thing and Stick your 27mm in there and rotate the engine so that that lines up there. Now we'll take a lucky guess that it's a 14, and we got lucky, it is. So I'm going to tighten that up, and then that's the power steering belt on. So there we go, all the belts, well all the belts I have, because I don't have AC, back on. Rotate the engine around, all rotates nicely. So the next thing is to put the fan back on, because once I put the radiator in with the shroud on, I ain't going to be able to access the fan bolts, probably. But if I put the fan in, it's going to be awkward to get the radiator hose under. But if I put the radiator in, it's going to be awkward to get the fan in. So whichever way you look at it, it's going to be awkward. So fan just sits in here somewhere, like so. We've got these little holes here which are supposed to line up. Try like that. Then what you got here is 4 little 10mm bolts, which, yeah, are fun to line up. But if you look on the back side of the fan, you kind of see the back of their threads, so that kind of gives you a rough idea where they're supposed to be going. If we get them in there, not a different matter. Yeah, that one's in. Obviously we're going to go around and torque these up once we've just line them, and we're obviously going to move that as well so it doesn't interfere with the fan. One more. That's going in there. So we'll get them torqued up. So I pre-assembled the radiator with the bottom rad hose on, because that is going to be really awkward to get to, because that will be right down there. And what we're going to try is wrestle with the fan with that hose and try and get that in there and under there, and the radiator dropped in. Well, that's in. Don't ask me how, because I ain't got a clue, but I'll tell you one thing, I don't want to be doing it again. I did have to take these off though, but that still didn't do it. It was just a bit of whatever all over the place. However, that big long lower rad pipe, it's under the car somewhere, but it's connected down there, so I've got to sort of try and fish that out and get that up here. But at least it's in the sort of right place. So I'll just pop this little geezer back on. Nice to have a little easy job for a change. Didn't even need the pliers. Look, that's on there. Yep, so I managed to get under the car and pull this upper rad hose so I could kind of access it. So I'm going to put you there a minute. By upper rad hose, I meant to say lower rad hose. It's just a, yeah, whatever, it's wrong place. Totally in the wrong place. So I was going on the bottom water pipe. Just trying to work out which is the best, most accessible position for that. Also helps if you put the socket on it. Don't lose that, it's down the bottom of the car. So that's going on there. As far as it'll go. Thinking possibly there's a good position for that. Very nice and accessible. Yeah, we'll just tighten that up. Torque to spec. So next, whilst we've got a bit more access, going to put the PTU back in its OEM position with its non-OEM fixings. actually reaches. Yep. Yeah, let's try and get the fucking awkward one in first. So awkward one. Finger tight, but it's in. No idea how I got this in when I actually had pipes on here. So what we've got here from Roost Motorsport, not sponsored, these are based in Lincoln in UK as well, is a brand new silicone hose for here because, well, you know, that's the old one and it's a bit broken at both ends. So try and manoeuvre this onto here somehow and work out best position for everything. Maybe I should put that on before the PTU. Yeah. Going to be tight. But we'll do it. There we are. I'll get it past it. Yeah, I'll get past it too. Oh. Certainly on there. And now the boost hose is back on. So there you go, everything all back together, the cover is on. All I need to do now is put some coolant in it. We're going to end this video here. In the next video we're going to do the first start without coolant, and then I'm going to fill it up with coolant if it all works. So see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.